Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Two Gods Summoned to a Fantasy World by BenGrem1234. Chapter 29. Yoshino's accession to divinity. Khloe and Lilith flew into the air in the direction of the dragons. I got the ones on the left, you take the ones on the right, Khloe told Lilith as she began to fly to her left to face the dragons there. Lilith nodded and flew to the right where the dragons were. The dragons saw Lilith approaching and snarled at her. "What is the vampire queen doing here?" one of the dragons asked. "Not sure, but it looks like she wants to get in our way," another dragon said. "Take her down," one dragon shouted. All the dragons in the area began to fire their breath attacks at Lilith, which was moving at great speed and force. "Useless lizards. I will make you pay for believing you could conquer the lower realm when I reside in it," Lilith said as she created her scythe ritter. Without wasting time, Lilith dashed towards all the breath attacks and flew right into them without bothering to defend herself. She approached a confused purple dragon and slashed her scythe, cutting the head of the purple dragon in the process. She turned to the other dragons and stretched her right hand in their direction. Soon, darkness spread all through the sky and covered all the dragons that was in her direction. The dragons looked at the darkness in confusion until they heard the words of Lilith. "Let me show you lizards a glimpse of why I am known as the goddess of darkness. Be enveloped in darkness and disappear from this world." Lilith closed her hand and the darkness followed, as well as it began to condense and form a giant ball of darkness in the sky with all the dragons inside it. The darkness began to shrink and shrink along with the dragons inside it until it disappeared without a trace. Lilith turned to see that many dragons were left. "I should go and take care of those ones as well." She flew in the direction of those dragons with the intention of killing them all. Meanwhile, Khloe was slashing and killing dragons like nobody's business. The dragons were trying to fight back, but their power were irrelevant before Khloe. These dragons at full power could easily destroy countless universes in the lower realm. A single breath from this dragons could obliterate countless planets and stars in the lower realm. It is not an exaggeration when it was said that no being in the lower realm could face this dragons. At full power, a single of this dragon can destroy the multiverse of the lower realm. The reason the world of Albion and the universe which contains it has not yet destroyed despite the dragons using their full power is because of Rimuru, who is preventing the world from destroying by just existing. So coming back to the fight, the dragons couldn't believe that their powers and defense means nothing before this single female human that is fighting them. Khloe created countless time bubble which she used to capture so many of the dragons. Once captured, she uses her ability to erase the captured dragon from the time tree, which erases them from all timeline. Not only that, she was moving at a speed that was beyond anything light could reach to slash and kill so many of the dragons in an instant. One dragon made of lightning tried to create a thunder rain on the entire planet, but his attack was stopped by Khloe, who reversed the time of the thunder rain and killed the dragon in the process. It was completely one-sided in the favor of Khloe. "Still got a few left. I should take care of them soon," Khloe said as she went back to killing the helpless dragons. Canade flew through the city until she saw a group of about 50 giants all running away from a white dragon. She immediately rushed and created a barrier with her magic to block the dragon from approaching. The dragon stopped as the barrier was a little tough and would require some effort to break. While the white dragon was busy with the barrier, Canade turned to the frightened giants. "We need to hurry before the dragon breaks that shield. Follow me if you want to live." The frightened giants didn't have a choice than to follow Canade, who began flying away to the direction of where Rimuru was. The white dragon broke the barrier seconds after Canade, and the giants began to run. It saw them and began to chase them again. The dragon's speed was way beyond anything Canade or the giant could run, and in a blink of an eye, the white dragon flew to their front and blocked their way. The white dragon gave them an evil smile as it began to open its mouth to release a breath attack on them. "This is bad. We can't survive this attack. Save us, master," Canade screamed. After Canade had said that, the white dragon that was about to release its breath attack on the helpless giants exploded. The explosion was so big that it reached the sky, but none of the giants or Canade felt any heat or shockwave from the explosion. When it died down, All that remained of the white dragon was ash which was blown away by the wind. Canade smiled. It seems that Master is protecting us. Now everyone, follow me. The confused giant who didn't know or understand what happened, all followed Canade to where Rimuru, Sophia and Lilith were staying. Yoshino ran through the city looking for any survivors she could save. She ran until she came upon a scene that greatly angered her. About 100 human with some giants who were grouped together in an open space, and in front of them was a blue dragon who was busy chewing on a human in its mouth. After swallowing, it picked up another human with its mouth and began to chew in a relaxed manner. Yoshino, who saw this, couldn't help the rage in her heart as her magic began to boil with her raging emotion. My heart spin, become my armor. My heart spin, turn into my blade. My heart spin, sprout my wings. Yoshino began to say as she approached the blue dragon. Her heart was resonating with her wish and desire to vanquish the evil dragon before her. The blue dragon turned and saw a little human girl approaching it with 2 daggers in her hand. It stood up and glared at Yoshino as if daring her to approach it. Blade of my heart, come forth. Weave my bonds, Hecatoncheires. A torrent of stars that was repeatedly glittering appeared around Yoshino. A bright light began to circulate around Yoshino, just like meteor showers shooting around her, manifesting with an enormous amount of magic power that was causing the atmosphere of the planet to shake. Yoshino then glared at the blue dragon. The dragon looked intrigued but didn't move as it was waiting to see what Yoshino will do. Yoshino's power were impressive for a human, but it wasn't anything for the dragon to worry about. Still not enough power, huh? Yoshino said to herself while bowing her head. Return to the me of those times when I was weak. Saying that, the dazzling stars around Yoshino began to enter her body, leaving only the lights that covered her. The beings I have seen in this world are far more powerful than this dragon. Even so, I want to return to the time when I vowed to protect everything until the end. Yoshino's magic that was gushing out like a hurricane began to calm down like the flowing sea. She looked at the dragon with her glittering eyes and got ready for battle. The blue dragon was contemplating what it will do next. In the next instant, the blue dragon was blown away a great distance by the punch of Yoshino, who appeared before it with her speed. The blue dragon glared at Yoshino again. You are definitely different from the rest of the humans I know, but if you think you can beat me with this level of power, you are sadly mistaken. The blue dragon flew up in the sky and spread its wings. Soon after, multiple giant water balls appeared in the sky and the blue dragon sent it all at Yoshino along with the remaining humans and giants it was planning to eat before. Yoshino raised her hand and using her power to manipulate the laws of causality, she changed the direction of the water that was heading towards her to begin to bend and move up towards the sky. Not giving the blue dragon a chance to understand what she did, Yoshino teleported in front of the dragon and slashed her dagger at its wings, severing it in the process. The blue dragon couldn't hide its shock as it began to fall to the ground. A dragon's body is so hard that it could withstand several universal explosions from the lower realm. So it was a great shock for the dragon that a little human girl was able to cut down its wings. After it fell to the ground, Yoshino, who was in the air, raised her hand and a symbol of a clock appeared under the dragon which slowed down its movement. This was her using the power she has weaved from Khloe to control time. Don't think this can hold me, human. The dragon began to release all his powers to break free from the clock symbol that restricted its movement. Yoshino spread her hand and so many iron threads came out from her hand and restricted the blue dragon. She began to fall down on the head of the struggling dragon with her dagger ready. Die, you abominable creature, and the head of the dragon was severed by her. The people she saved all had a gobs make it expression as they witnessed a human little girl slay a dragon from the middle realm. It was so shocking to them that so many of them suspected that it was an illusion. Yoshino looked up and saw 2 more dragons flying towards her direction. She turned to the dead body of the dragon. Devour it all, Beelzebub. And the body of the blue dragon was devoured by her. She turned to the 2 dragons that flew to her direction with her daggers at the ready. The people behind her could do nothing but pray for her safety as they watched on what will happen next. One of the dragon that was red in color turned to its partner dragon who was green in color. I can't believe Sion lost to a human kid. We need to be careful since that kid is not ordinary. I will kill her while you wait for me to finish, the green dragon said. It then roared and flew down at Yoshino with great speed, but Yoshino was fast enough to avoid getting slammed by the dragon. Yoshino sent an air slash using her dagger at the green dragon, but the dragon created a green barrier that blocked the air slash. Yoshino dashed at it, determined to cut it with her dagger, but the dragon blocked her blow with its claws. The force of strength that Yoshino applied to her dagger pushed the green dragon back a few feet. I can see why Sion lost to you, but I am different from her, as you would soon learn, the green dragon told her during their clash. Yoshino, seeing that her dagger was not piercing the green dragon, jumped back and landed in front of the humans and giants she was protecting. The green dragon raised its claws and several earth spikes were created. The earth spikes began to head towards Yoshino and the people she was protecting. Yoshino began to slash and deflect all the earth spikes that were coming at her and the people she was protecting at a fast pace. So many spikes broke through and slashed at her body, but she ignored them and kept on destroying all the spikes before her. The green dragon flew up in the sky and opened its mouth. Immediately, a giant green flame that was the size of a mini moon appeared in the sky. All the humans and giant who saw it lost hope and fell into despair, for they knew that their time was over. Khloe turned around and saw the attack in the direction the dragon who generated it was facing. She saw Yoshino standing in front of some humans and giant, and by the looks of things, she was protecting them. She was about to fly and stop the attack that had enough power to blow up a universe if it explodes, but she was stopped by Rimuru voice in her head. Leave it to Yoshino, Rimuru, but she is not yet strong enough to face this kind of battle, Khloe. You have to have faith in her. If it looks like she can't handle it, then I will intervene. But until then, we have to watch and see what she can do, Rimuru. Khloe sighed but nodded her head as she observed Yoshino's fight. Yoshino could obviously feel the power behind the green flames and knew that it was beyond powerful and that her current self couldn't handle it. Even so, this was nothing new to her, as the beings she always trains with were leap and bounds beyond her power. Yet she always stands her ground during those training. Yoshino couldn't help but laugh in the face of this situation. Foo 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 foo. Ha 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 ha. The green dragon saw her laughing and became confused. Have you finally lost your mind after seeing how outclassed you are, human? Yoshino ignored it and began to talk to herself. Since I was hated by everyone, I always felt myself incomplete, as if I'm using incompatible parts in place of my insufficiency. The green dragon looked at Yoshino in shock. Why is her power increasing at a ridiculous rate? Her power is now greater than my own. No, it is still rising. It's like she is ascending into a higher being. Yoshino looked at the green dragon and smirked. There's an enemy in front of me that I need to defeat, and behind me are people that I want to protect. Ah, this is it. This is the real me. Even when I faced that doggy with Papa, my heart has never reached this point. The green dragon, in his panic, sent the giant green flame at Yoshino, who was calmly watching it. This is it. At this moment, the farthest my heart had reached. Exceed my limits and now, weave the world, ultimate battle form. With a powerful shout, the numerous lights that surround Yoshino all got absorbed into her body. The pressure released by Yoshino increased, and along with that, her magic power increased as well. The force of her presence got so big that the giant green fireball vanished before it reached her due to how overpowering her being became. The green dragon looked on in shock as Yoshino changed before his very eyes. Her aura was different from before. It was overpowering just being near her, but what frightened it the most was the fact that Yoshino's power is now made up of divine energy. This was proof that she has ascended into a being of the higher realm. She has transcended and become a true demigod. The green dragon tried to flee after it determined that Yoshino was beyond his power, but he couldn't run because a beam of light shot out from Yoshino and pierced it from its stomach. "Thee is my light of judgment. Die." After Yoshino said that, a huge torrent of light fell on the area and covered both the green dragon and the red dragon in it, erasing them on contact. Yoshino, who was glowing with a dazzling bright light, flew up in the sky and looked just like a deity would. She looked at all the dragons still in the city while keeping her calm. You will never believe that this was a 7, going to 8 years old kid while looking at her current form. Be erased from this world, all you creatures that want to bring harm to it. Shine, my divine light. After Yoshino had said that, her body glowed a bright light which shined and covered the entire world in a marvelous dazzling bright light. All the dragons inside the bright light got erased without putting up any kind of resistance at all. After the light died down, the giant city that destroyed moments ago was miraculously fixed and all the dragons were erased. This was the powers of Yoshino. The power to erase all things she perceives as a threat and the power of creation, though not on the scale of Rimuru's and Khloe's power of creation. Lilith couldn't help the gobs naked expression she was wearing on her face. Not just her, Canade. Lilith and Khloe couldn't hide their shock after witnessing Yoshino's true powers. Rimuru was simply smiling and laughing at everyone's expression as they watched Yoshino, who was still in the sky in her dazzling beauty.